At this point, I want to bring in our regular contributor. It is Robin Cross. He is with StoneX in Chicago. Robin, I see the lumber market is opening up and we are seeing expanded limit higher trade today. I want to revisit something of you and I talking 2 weeks ago, and I believe it was like the day before we had the all-time high in history on lumber. Here's what you said back then.
You know, this has been in my craw for a while, and I wanted to give you another little factoid. On a single-family home, say you were just buying a regular, couple 3,000 square foot house, you are putting, as of today, an additional $80,000 in the price of lumber on that home. So, to go with the NAHB's, statement to me, that's obviously, got to put a damper on it.
All right, so that's what you said then, and within a day or so after that, the market completely peaked out. And if you look at a chart here, it was straight down after that for about 2 weeks. And now, in the last 2 days, we have actually picked up the pace. And now today, I see where we're expanded limit up. That was a huge sell-off from that day that we spoke. Do you think the market is able to regain its footing here?
Well, that's kind of a complicated question, and it was funny for everybody accused me of turning the market on RFDTV that day. They said it was my comments that led to the sell-off, which we obviously know it's not true, is the extremely overbought market conditions we were in. Literally, in my 25 years, it was the most overbought market in history. So, I was just going with my instincts on that one, and I really appreciate you playing that. It means a lot to me. And then on the break side, so we went down $532. So picture this for a moment, Marlon. We went from the most overbought lumber market in history, but with that significant of a drop and that straight down, it was a straight down, 8 days straight of limit down. And with these expanded limits, I told the Merc, I said, we could take $300 out of a week. And wouldn't you know what we did? We took up $532. We got down to 1201. But just as I said, that was the all-time high and with the most overbought market, yesterday's break at 1201 on the charts looked like almost the most oversold lumber market in history because we've never had a metric to compare it against of a $532 break. So, I was moonlighting on some other lumber guys asking me stuff, and I said, you know what? I feel it went from overbought to oversold, and you got to buy it. And sure enough, we go limit up, from limit down to limit up yesterday, follow through limit up today, but I do think that things are a little bit different. For me, I would be satisfied. We left a gap from expiration from 1376, which we're into now, up to 1540. Gaps in lumber typically get filled. But this is a good chance for everybody to figure out what their lumber is going to be going forward, because if you get into this gap and don't fill it, the market's going down. That's it. This was a high. The high is already in, which I kind of suspect in my gut that the high is in probably for a very long time. But if you fill this gap, we'll probably make another run at that high. So I know that's a little confusing, but it's never so concise on the charts for lumber as it is right now. So I think you actually got something to go off of. I just want to mention a couple other things. Illiquidity is still the main theme of lumber. As you could see, I think in 33 days, and forgive me if I misspeak, but I think in 33 days we had 30 limit moves. And that's really, really insane at a $63 limit. So, you're, especially yesterday, think about it. You could have made or lost 12 grand on a one lot. But the one thing I do know is Random Length Print came out at 1630, right? So the board at 1201 yesterday was an extreme discount. Lumber traditionally trades at a discount. That's why I also know the 1733 was a sell, because we're always at a discount, and that was premium. That was a good premium. That was about $150 premium to cash, probably one of the biggest I've ever seen, with the exception of when we started taking off. And but at the same token, being that kind of a discount to cash, over a $400 discount, if you look, our biggest was really $313 prior to that. So it almost felt like, I hate to use this term in commodities traded, but it was almost a no-brainer to buy it down here. But now that you bought it, rallied it up 2 limits, I'm definitely advising guys to look at tickets to profit. Just because I believe the high's in, and I don't believe we're going to take it out and fill that gap entirely. All right. And just be careful. Well, Robin, 10 lot guys have turned into 1 lot guys with this kind of range. So
Robin, I really,
be cautious.
I really appreciate the advice on the markets and keeping us on top of everything. It's such a wild market. We look forward to talking with you. We'll put a wrap on this one. We'll pick up where we left off next week. Robin Cross is with StoneX in Chicago. Now, I want to come back in a moment and take a look at some of the reaction to the big export sales we had on the livestock side. We'll talk about that in just a moment.